Hello and welcome to another game of the Battle of Nations tournament. We are featuring now the round 4 game of China versus Germany, where Robin is playing Baratheon Valyrien Steel against Hanno, who's playing Baratheon Assault from the Shadows. And as a co-moderator is Hannes here, and I hope I don't mix up Hanno and Hannes all the time. Welcome.
Yes, hi, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited about the game.
Yeah, for us, Germany, everything is on the line. China is in the lead, and if they win this game, they are king of Swiss.
Exactly, and yesterday I lost my game. It was our pick. So I hope that Hanno will be able to win the game so that my blunder doesn't cost us the overall matchup. Well, so yeah,
We have
fingers
a
crossed.
we have a record to lose, yes, and since you are one of the new guys in the team, it's probably your fault that we don't make king of Swiss. But also
Yeah,
that
I know I get flogged, but I'm willing to take that punishment. I made several mistakes
oh
yesterday, and I hope that Hanno will have a perfect play today. And I think it will be interesting because I think it depends a lot on what his opponent will draw. Black cells for him is out now for his opponent, and that's already not ideal. And the other two locations I think that are less than ideal is the Iron Throne and Ember of the Painted Table.
Mhm. Decent setup here for Hanno with 5 cards and going second, which means he can put a Rose Road into Shadows and starting with a disadvantage, getting his at the gates riddled.
And the Red Priest is never something you want to see as a second player, but that's the trade-off.
Yeah, it depends on your hand and on your reset. Like if you have an option to get rid of the Red Priest, and if we look at the deck, there is no way except from Valador Harris in the plot deck to get rid of it. And there are, I think, 3 pinch of powders, but
Yes.
there are no kill effects. Let me check which Mel he's running. He doesn't run any Mel. So this priest has a tightening grasp at 1 card, but maybe the hand is not so
The
good.
Fickle Bannerman.
Yes, I think you could pick worse, right?
Yes, that's true. For example, Black Cells, of course, would have
Well,
been
Black Cells or Traitor to the Crown. I think one
mhm.
of the key cards in this matchup here.
Yeah.
So I asked Hanno for a statement 5 minutes before the game, and he said he was confident as he picked this matchup. Then yesterday, he lost 2 of his test game, and I think he's testing since all the time. I think there were a lot of test games yesterday and this morning, right before the game. The Valerian Steel deck runs a whole lot of draw and some combination, but overall it's a high variance game for the Valerian Steel player. And it comes to when you see Fat Bob in the game when you can like execute him. And we have another person joining us here. Hi, Nico. Do you want to moderate?
Hi, yeah, I mean, I can, I'll listen to you guys and maybe jump in a little bit, but yeah, I mainly was just wanted to hear your soothing voices.
Oh yeah.
And if you to say so. Yeah, I would say Bob can be a strong problem because Hanno runs very many 4 and less cost characters, so you can keep them nailed standing round. But for Bob, he has an answer. He has a pinch of powder, theoretically. if the opponent establishes backboard with the Iron Throne and the Chamber of Phantom Table, Hanno does not really have an answer for that. I mean, he has fortified positions, which is an answer to Bob as well, but nothing against his opponent's location. So I would say the threat is even greater if these locations hit the table, because then he has to live with them. With Bob, he has a chance to maybe get him off the table again.
Okay, then let's talk about the Chinese deck. We have the city line here with At the Gates, City Festival, City Secrets, City of Spiders, Counting Coppers, Doharis, and Riddle. And we have 14 attachments, Pinch, Azor High, Bodyguard, Disputed Claim, Hunting Accident, Milk, Noble Lineage, Red Scott Bassing, Stinking Drunk, Strangler, Serious Training, Traitor to the Crown, Warhammer, and the nasty Water Dancer's Sword.
Yeah, it's not so many attachments, but he has so many other draw options that he probably doesn't need them.
Yeah,
And
for draw he runs, let me check it out, the Red Keep and all the plot lines, but I don't see any more draw.
instead of Robert,
Stannis.
then yeah,
Set down our deeds is in there, I think.
Oh, that has draw as well. Ah, yeah, it has draw.
and Alistair Florent has draw as well.
And Valyrien Steel, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's another deck that goes over the limit. Like the Chinese players all run more than their minimum deck size is required. We saw, I think, 61. Here it's 7, 6,
26, I think.
yeah, like one card on top. I cannot remember the correct number right now. And I think we saw 64 cards or 63 cards as well. Is this the new meta? We haven't discussed this at all, right? Like,
Yeah, it's true. It's unusual, but personally, I think let's say in discussions on this, I think there's the emphasis is put too strongly on efficiency, meaning basically having only the required number of cards. And it's often a bit treated as soon as you're one or two cards above that, this is inefficient and it's not good deck building. And I think it's more gradual, so you lose degrees of efficiency, but you also gain degrees of flexibility. And I think whether deliberately or not, I think they chose a bit more often flexibility. And here he has a lot of draw, and that compensates for that as well. And overall, these are very good decks. So, I mean, they've beaten every opponent that came against them basically so far, and they're in a good position against us as well. So, I think we have a lot of convention when we're discussing this, but I think it's not a binary thing. Just stochastically speaking, it simply isn't.
yeah, first edition Legend John Bruno was very successful, I think, with 63 cards as well. Winning, I think it was either World Championship or Gen Con, like the developer of First Snow Winter.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
He has like 2 card designs, if I remember correctly. One of this is First Snow of Winter, and I don't remember the other one. And he played like the 2 major tournaments he won. I think there he had 63 cards in his deck as well. For me, the argument is like if you're digging like for one answer card and it's like 2 cards further back, it's potentially like 1 turn too late. And that's the reason why I try to stick to the minimum deck side. Like if you want to draw Robert here, or if you want to draw your economy one turn earlier, it can make a difference for the rest of the game. Like if you draw your economy on setup or in turn 1 or turn 2, I think it makes a difference.
So my guess would be that it's as a kind of rule of thumb and a general rule, it's probably right to aim for, you know, as close to 60 or 75 in Valyrian Steel case as possible. But I think also going with what Hannes said, it can be super helpful to just add this one more answer. You know, sometimes if you want to include nightmares, you have kind of your deck has like a certain purpose and you need cards for that. And then you want to add some answers, location control, nightmares, hand's judgment and such. Yeah, maybe sometimes you run over the, 60 card goal. And sometimes it can be useful to do that in order to include one or two more answers that otherwise you wouldn't even have in your deck. So fishing doesn't even work if you don't have it in the deck at all.
Yes, I would also say for each game where it's exactly this one card that prevents you in this round from getting the key card, you will have many other games where it's irrelevant, or where you might also lack this card that you cut, or the 61th or the 62nd card that you cut from your deck, and it's a trade-off. I think if your strategy is super focused, then probably having just the minimum limit is probably advisable. If you're going more for flexibility overall in your deck design and play style, then I think it's also defendable to have more than 60 cards.
Okay, I think we should go back to the game because something important happened here. I think we saw the Ghost of Highheart trigger in the challenge phase round 2, and the Iron Throne got discarded. And there's a power challenge coming with strength 1. And now we have to see how the power challenge is defended. Basically, all other challenge are mostly irrelevant if you try to win like the power challenge every time.
I think that was really good to discard the Iron Throne. He only runs one copy. And I don't know whether he has any option to get cards back from the discard pile. So this also in turn makes the Chamber of the Painted Table less threatening for Hanno.
Okay. But that, on the other hand, was a good intrigue pull. The Bastard of Night song is now gone. And another Scene in Flames post-challenges, post-intrigue challenge.
That's not good.
And a Traitor to the Crown is also gone. That's a key card he got rid of. So very nice pull from the Chinese player.
Yeah.
If I read the game log correctly, then Old Bill Bone cannot stand because of black cells.
Yes.
So you just go for dominance here. You can intrigue and then win dominance, or just win dominance this way. A slight power lead here, but card size is the Chinese player is one cut up and has one more economy card. Because Hanno has 4 cards in hand and 2 cards in shadows, or he will have 4 cards in hand after his trigger of the Hollow Hill. We don't see many attachments on the Chinese side, on Robert's side here.
That's true, yeah. So he has serious training out. So he has put it on the Dragonstone Faithful, probably anticipating that he can or will or must kill him anyway, so we can get it back to hand and then reuse the trigger again. Valyrian Steel.
So I'm checking if in round 1 the Ghost of High Heart was triggered. No. It wasn't.
Yeah, interestingly, this Valerian Steel deck doesn't feel too reliant on the Valerian Steel mechanic at all. With 14 attachments, it's not, not too many, and 76 cards. And I think in the testing games I've seen, also it didn't play a huge role. Of course, it came in handy sometimes, but it didn't seem like the key mechanic of the deck as opposed to other Valerian Steel decks.
Yeah, I agree. It seems more like an addition. So he has, I think you probably wanted a very flexible Bara control Neo Dom deck, and then basically get the additional flexibility and draw from Valyrian Steel. So I would say it's really on the far side of flexible as you can go with current decks.
Yeah, it's more like all the good stuff, like more a good stuff deck with the
Yeah.
draw and economy. I think political disaster could be a problem for this deck. Like if this deck runs into political disaster and gets behind on the economy, and then, but we haven't
Because he
talked.
doesn't have.
Yeah,
Yeah, he doesn't have dupes for his key locations. So political disaster will always be tough.
and I'm checking out his track record so far. He won, like the player, won 5 games so far, and he's playing his 7th game right now. And I see 2 wins with Bara Valerian Steel under his belt. He played in the round 1 time Night's Watch Banner of the Wolf, and I'm a Mattel Knights of the Hollow Hill, the community favorite game, and 2 times Mattel Hollow Hill.
Also interesting, he now had to play the bodyguard for the Valyrian Steel trigger on Hanno's Delana Florent because he did not have any other lord or lady target. Which is
the Bastard of Nightsong is back.
Oh yeah, that as well. But he cannot do anything this round because the Black Cell trigger from Old Bill Bone that the Chinese player used.
Yeah, but if you win the power challenge anyway, like, is there a need for the Bastard of Nightsong? Because the Robin has only 1 power right now. So
yeah, but he won't win the power challenge. Hanno has now 10 strength on power, and the opponent has 1, 4, 5, 8, 9. Ah, okay. No, he nailed the Acolyte, so now he can win it.
And I'm pretty sure there is at least 1 Traitor to the Crown in the Shadow by now. Like, he has 3 Shadow cards in there.
Although, of course, there are no really high-value targets from China on the board. So he can use it on a Shadow Priestess, but of course you would rather want to have it on, on a stronger character. But if need be, I hope as well that there's a traitor in the Shadow.
I think attacking with strength 4 is really nice because like it's this awkward position. Yes, you can like total overcommit, but then you need at least more than basically you have to defend like all in, because if there's a trader that goes on a Shadow Priestess, then you have to defend like with basically every weenie and or every weenie but one and the Shadow Priestess. And I like this power attack. And on the
Yeah.
other hand, like you you might like to have to overcommit to win the power challenge back for the same reason.
Host for China kills the advisor to the crown, and now an intrigue, which will also be unopposed. Ooh, superior claim. That's not ideal. Should be able to defend the power challenge. China's 4 gold left. I don't know whether they have anything. Ah,
I was gonna say hunting accident is the only thing I can think of.
yes, you're right, Nico.
Well, I mean,
No
I said
more.
it after it came out, so I'm not sure if it
I
counts.
I totally it's your magic prediction. Yeah, no more Ghost of the High Heart shenanigans for Hano. Of course, a bummer.
Yeah, the other side to that is that you kind of filter the deck, and then he's more likely to see Bob, and that might be like the problem. Because if Bob hits the board and nobody of these weenies is standing, I think the game is uh, locked in.
Mm.
So if we count for the gold, we have 2 gold from counting coppers, and then we have 3 gold on the board, which is 5, and there are 3 reducer, which is 8. So in the 10 cards he has in hand, maybe like he has like one gold attachment that could trigger Valyrien Steel. The possibility is high that Bob can hit the table now.
No. Niels Bastard of Night Song. Some more economy. So no Bob this round. You might also be somewhat reluctant to play Bob now, because then Hannah would probably play a reset next round. But this won't change, I think. Hannah won't reset, I think, before Bob is on the board because he's in the lead.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense like to reset before, because then he has Mel and Bob and some other cards like he can replay. I think that would be ludicrous.
So Hannah Starry set now. This is also really good. And a Fickle Bannerman. This is looking good.
Yeah, and coming back to the reset, the danger also is that you don't get rid of Bob, so the problem doesn't really go away. The board gets smaller. I mean, for both players, and of course, Hano could keep more characters because he only has weenies out basically. But the big problem is Bob, and that doesn't go away with a VD.
Yes, and you have only this one turn to pinch him,
Yeah,
because
that's
if you don't pinch him, you're basically locked in forever and the game is over.
yeah, that's true. So BD and then pinch would be the option, but let's hope that he doesn't have to rely on that. Okay, it's China's first move. He doesn't have a card in shadows, so that's good.
I think you defend the military challenge here with Old Billborn. Maybe claiming him, or claiming the dupe of Delena.
Yeah, somehow the opponent does not want to sacrifice his bodyguard for Delena. Surprise, surprise.
It's a very reluctant bodyguard.
Yes, indeed. Sometimes I think, at least for me, it's easy to forget that if you also take control of a character, that you do not take control of the dupes and the attachments, and this then, should mark him for claim and think, oh yeah, I can keep him in play with the bodyguard or with the dupe, and then of course the other player does not use the dupe per se. Yeah, that can be a nasty surprise if you don't think about that.
You mean if you don't know the rules?
Exactly. Well, if you always know all the rules and have perfect game situational awareness, you never would make any mistakes, right?
So if your name is David, in other
No, no,
words.
no. I make no, no, no. I make
No, we got you now, David. We got you now.
I make mistakes. I'm only human, but the argument if
Forgetting your own plot. Yeah.
Speaking of mistakes and being superhuman, I want to point out that I think Hanno didn't miss a single Hollow Hill trigger, which in my book makes him superhuman.
fair point.
Yeah.
I think triggers I missed the most are Hollow Hill, siege preparation,
Yes.
and um
So came too late.
no, but I remember this one mostly because like you played this plot for this character. I'm thinking about which trigger I also miss a lot.
So meanwhile,
Probably Messenger Raven.
Hanno is pinching after a power challenge and is going for the Red Priest. Probably expecting to have all his cards out on the board or in shadows next round before the priest can pick off his
or
dead cards.
or not. awesome play here from the opponent with the Scene in Flames and getting rid of the Finkel Bannerman.
Yeah, often when I play against Baratheon, those are the cards that I'm most afraid of. Like Red Priest and Scene in Flames can really mess up your game plan with a lot of decks.
Yeah, I think Red Priest is a kind of failed design by Fantasy Flight Games because it's basically like a magic card with like a 2-drop that look at the hand and you have to put the card under it, and if it dies, you get the card back. But magic like has way more removal, like the characters doesn't stick too much. And here it is basically okay, I'll play a reducer, I play the Red Priest, I take your bomb, I play my bomb, and now you don't have a bomb on your economy turn that you played it. And now I'm so far ahead, and if you try to try to do military claim, I'll just claim my reducer or defend the military challenge, depending on like the board state. So um, like the play is the card is, I think, like a bad design. But it's certainly a very good card and super annoying.
Yes, agreed to all of those. But on the other hand, I sometimes I really hate seeing it, as I think we all do. But I think it's always helpful to kind of look at the greater scheme of things. And Bara is not really like raking in tournament victories all over the place. So and then like saying, "Oh, okay, we should do something about this card," which I know you're not saying. Um, yeah, I think it's fine to have like some really strong cards, even though they're annoying and annoying me oftentimes or other
Yeah,
players.
like I
Yeah,
find this card as well annoying, but I think it's like a good card. But
yeah.
Baratheon is not in a not in a bad place. I think the real problem is that Baratheon, I think, has
Hang on, sorry, David. I think we should
Yeah,
briefly at
I
least go
know.
back to something. We see Valado Harris here. Hano is at 11 power, and we see a reset. So I'm sorry to interrupt,
no.
but we should probably um, look at what's happening here because this seems like a really crucial turn, maybe the closing turn of the game.
Could be the last turn of the game, right?
Depends a bit on what the Chinese player is able to marshal. So 11-2 for Hanno. He has a star reset out, which can give him an extra power in the power challenge.
2
With the
extra
Fickle
power, right?
Bannerman. Yeah, but the Chinese player wouldn't make an offensive power if he cannot win it, certainly. So
Yeah, but you don't know of Trade of the Crown. Like
yeah,
since Hano is playing a soul, he can like mid challenge to the trader, bring the traitor of the crown out, and then all your power is gone, and then you feel very stupid.
it's true. But he knows that also, and I think his play will now be to be defensive and try to get Robert out. Else, I don't see any way some kind of
Don't you think
run
Robert is a
power.
lost card on a fortified position turn because you're paying 6 or 7? What's its cost? I think 7 for like a 2 drop, 2 icons 5 strength guy.
Yeah, but he maybe he doesn't play him now, but he needs to survive this round one way or another.
And Black
And
Cells is here.
I mean, it helps that the that Hanno loses renown as well on his Fickle Bannermans. So completely closing this round is possible, but also not easy. And well, I don't see any way how China can turn it around after playing his reset without getting Robert on the board.
Yeah,
So he has to stay in the game to play defensively, and therefore I wouldn't make any kind of power challenge that I'm not 100% certain that I can win, even if Traitor hits the board. Else Staricep gains 2 power, as you said.
that's a nice card for China. The Red Keep with the +2 on power.
Mm-hmm.
No cards and shadows on China's side though, so no Black Celts trigger this
Yeah,
round. We may only see a. Oh, why didn't we see a Mel trigger so far?
because she's
45
blanked
Oh,
position.
yeah,
fortified
forget it,
position.
forget it. Forgot the plot. Yeah, sorry. That's obvious. Okay, so that's really good for Hano. Way less board control from Robin.
I think there's an interesting interaction here because let's say you attack only with your Dragonstone Faithful in power, because Hanno knelt out all of his power icons.
Mhm.
And then if Traitor to the Crown would go on the Dragonstone Faithful, there's still a strength buff from the Red Keep.
Yes.
So this is something that's not super obviously, but like should be considered here.
Yeah.
If you like do the math for the power challenge.
Yeah. He should have 3 in reserve for defense at least.
But on the other hand, like the Finkel Bannermen are blanked, so their forced reaction doesn't trigger. So you could even lose 1 power challenge in this turn or in this round.
Yeah, so for Hanno, the good thing here is even if Robert hits the board next round, he should be able to close out with a renown from Fickle Bannerman if things shake out right for him. So yeah, he doesn't have to worry anymore about Bob's board control.
Although next round, the Chinese player will have a lot of cards in hand and probably play City of Spiders and trigger City Festival again. So he will have both a lot of cards and a lot of money. And yeah.
Oh,
Hanno doesn't have
there's a tempo hit here. The question is, do we see here superior claim as well? No, we don't see.
Mal is pinched.
Yes. Pinching Mel means that there is
And he discards her on claim. That's strong.
yes. Pinching Mel means here like if he has another copy or if he wouldn't have discarded it, there could be some control with Black Cells and Mel next round. And he has another Scene in Flames, so. But overall, I think we will go to 7th game, where all is decided.
Knock on wood, I hope so as well.
Nico,
Let's see.
how lucky are you that Kai is playing Tyrell this round?
I mean, I think it's the pressure is definitely on the player, but since we're both piloting the Tyrell decks, I feel the pressure as well, and it's also nice to be in such a game and be able to maybe win it for the team. So it's great opportunity for Kai. I'm looking forward to the match.
Yeah, shout out to Kai here. He's a very underrated player. He's one of Germany's finest. Very calm, super nice guy. I really like him.
And here's the forgotten Hollow Hill trigger. It got even Hanno. It got him in the end.
He's only human after all.
Yeah, I have to come to terms with that reality. Well, I do. It's actually, since I'm a pretty new player still, and for a long time I felt like, man, when will I be able to overcome these rookie mistakes? And then eventually I learned that it actually happens all the time to really experienced players, and it definitely made me feel a little better about forgetting the trigger occasionally.
Let's
Yeah,
not downplay this. I think we should give him shit for it.
wins the game, nothing matters.
So far, I'm happy about the Mel discard.
Yes. Angai was put out of game by the new Red Priest trigger.
Yeah, but you claim old Bilbone here, right? He has no power icon.
Yeah.
If you either win power on attack or defense, you win the game. Like there are some, yeah, that's a problem card. Like Shadow Priestess, like kneeling, or one of the Finkel Bannermen, and then using black cells to the other. That could be a problem here. But on the
Yes.
other hand, there are 4 shadow cards on Hanno's side. He also has black cells. I think there is an option to close this game out here. That round. And I don't know, but my Discord is making sounds. You still there, or did I mute you right now?
No,
No.
we're
Okay.
still there. Interesting decision here, I think, to play Gates of the Moon, because it gives Hanno 1 more gold. And there's no immediate use that I could see. So maybe it doesn't hurt either, but yeah, interesting.
Okay, so bringing out duplicates also triggers black cells, and then also probably Ariane and cards like that. Yeah,
So
actually,
one cannot
so
defend. So it's right now it's on the power board. It's 9, and let's say he uses the at a 3 gold guy. Oh, he's still in marshalling there. Or no, what was
no,
Valyrian Steel? Okay, it was Valyrian Steel. So if we get rid of what's his name, Alistair Florent with the traitor to the crown, they are still 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9 power in play. So I think if there's a traitor to the crown, you play it now, right? For the black cells trigger.
maybe he wants to bait him to committing all his power icons.
Yeah, Hanno also may have Bastard of Night Song in Shadows here. I don't know if it's a smarter play, but defending with him would give him 1 power on defense also.
How many copies does he run? Because one is on the bottom of his deck and one is in the discard pile.
I'm not sure, but I have the deck
3.
open here.
Yes, 3.
Yeah.
$25 spectators, by the way.
Nice.
Looks like it's also being streamed by King Manus.
Yes.
And I see Kai also as a spectator already warming up, getting in the mindset, getting in the zone for his match.
He starts in 15 minutes, and let's hope that Hanno has closed the game until then. So military challenge defended by Hanno.
Yeah, and maybe apologies to the international spectators for being partisan here.
I don't apologize for that at all.
Hey, we upped our videos from German to English just for the international community, because I was making videos for our team, but I made them in German. and then we asked the Chinese player if it's okay if we stream these matches and put the video on YouTube, and they said it would be okay. There are no problems for them, and then they asked us politely if we could do the commentary in English, so they have the option to watch and enjoy these videos.
Yes, but you're right, Nico. I think King Menace is also part of Team Australia, and he's much more neutral, even if Australia is playing than we are. So you do realize that he has a slight favoritism for Australia, but not as blatantly as.
Oh yeah, I forgot my disclaimer at the start of the game that I'm biased, obviously, as I make this video. But last round, when I saw you playing, Hannes, I also said I was like biased to Germany, but like my co-commentators were very nice to you, and I was pointing out some mistakes I thought you made.
Yeah, no, you were absolutely right. Actually, I watched the video, and just to go over some things were immediately obvious to me when I did it, and I was, oh my god. But one or two, I realized only afterwards
Yeah.
how unfortunate this was. So yeah, the result wasn't any good, but I definitely learned something from the game yesterday. That was really well played by a Chinese player and poorly executed by myself.
Okay. In the meantime, we see a big power challenge to try to take control of the Figgle Bannerman here. And Hanno uses power from the Starry Sept to blank his Bannerman to prevent them from changing hands.
Yeah, very smart play here, to be honest, because the power is keeping on them like on the right side of the board, and they are then open for like all their shenanigans, and we don't need the renown, or we just win by unopposed here.
And that's the GG.
And there's the GG.
Yeah.
So we have won this game, and it all will come to another game. Starting in 15 minutes, I guess. 15,
Yep.
14 minutes.
Yep.
So I'll write Hanno if he wants to give a post-game commentary.
And if you want to, I would be interested in your point you were making earlier about Baratheon. It's kind of stayed in the. So that
was a little bit loud on my side here.
Apologies. Yeah, it would be interesting to hear your point. I'm sorry I interrupted on your own stream. I just thought there was something important happening. But yeah, I would be interested to hear your point about Baratheon.
I think Baratheon has like a player problem, if you could say so. Because I think Baratheon has like some loyal player, like exceptional loyal player as Hanno, but it's not played overall very much, unless like there is like the let's say the gold digger players, like they are playing the hot meta deck, which was Baratheon Cohor, because it was a hard counter to the Greater Prince decks, because you can't just ambush your marriage pact hunting accident, and then they basically paid 7 for a guy that cannot stand, and you paid 3 for a guy to like make one challenge, and then it was them for him, and you could go crazy with Azor High. But since these cards were nerfed, I think Baratheon fell a little bit out of favor.
Yeah, actually, I was playing quite a bit Baratheon earlier, but somehow those decks kind of didn't, they ended up not performing as well in competitive play. So I kind of
I don't know what
and
is
I
I don't know
should
what
go
is
back
happening
and
here. I read the GG, but there was no concede yet, and there was looking at the deck. Is the game over?
yeah, I think it's officially over once
Okay,
he started looking at his deck.
okay. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure, but he left.
Yeah, but that happened before, I think, where they GG'd, but didn't press the concede button, and we were like, "Is it over? Is it really over?"
Okay, until he left the game. Okay, maybe this is a cultural difference. I don't know. Um, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, David, your comment makes me wanna, you know, build a good Bara deck. I actually like it, so I like the faction. So I should try to fill that gap that you were describing, if I can.
By the way, cultural difference on GG. It sounds strange, but in StarCraft 2, which is dominated by South Korea, there's actually also apparently a difference how you GG and leave the game between American, European players and South Korean players. And
Oh,
I
tell
don't
me
know.
more.
Yeah, it was a bit like I think you can leave the game and then write the GG and it will still appear for the other
Yes.
player. And I think this is I don't hold me to it. This is the South Korean way, and then the let's say Western way is to say GG and then leave the game. So these small differences sometimes do exist.
I think it is super interesting, like the cultural differences on that one, because like, if you haven't been in that culture, you like you can only assume, but you might be very wrong, and yeah. Um, so no blame from my side. For me, it's surprising, but I don't want to blame anybody here. But I'm super interested in what is the right way or the right decision in these countries.
Yeah, and definitely, I mean, uh, Chinese team super friendly,
Yes.
great opponents. So
Yeah,
it's been a really really nice round.
Yeah. I think
absolutely.
like every team was super nice so far. What I've encountered.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really nice tournament, really great players.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay. It appears that Hanno doesn't want to comment. Um, I'll ask him once again, and then we have to get ready for the last game.
From what he writes in the chat, he had quite useful resources in Shadows still, so there was some buffer um, from what I get from his comments in the chat here. Traitor to the crown, support of the people, and Davos in Shadows apparently.
Hallo?
Hello there.
Ist da jemand? Ah,
Yes.
Hi,
okay.
congrats.
Congratulations, Hanno, for playing and winning this game.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
So, earlier.
Well, I chose this matchup, so I had to win, right?
I'm not sure about that.
No. Yeah, testing results were mixed, so yeah, happy to have won this one.
Okay. Anything like obviously the misplay with the Hollow Hill that lost you one card?
Yeah, I was already mentally in the next round where I was confident to close the game. So yeah, that was a big misplay on my part. But yeah, generally, I think not playing his Iron Throne and he even had Northern Encampment on board already, was his biggest mistake, and I could discard it with the Ghost of High Heart. I never used it, the ability on the Ghost of High Heart, but yeah, this game I did, and it was worth it. Yeah. What did I discard the first round?
You didn't trigger it in the first round. You triggered it in the second round for the Iron Throne, and I think then it was a hunting accident.
No, right. I think it
Oh,
was
like
the
there.
round before Iron Throne. It was not hunting accident. The other two caused it Red God's blessing. Yeah.
Red God's blessing, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were lucky with the tempo play on Mel, and then claiming her out of his full hand with the interclaim.
Yeah.
That
Thanks
was
to Lucas for his great programming. You always hit the card you send back to hand with pinch, right? I think it happened twice with the Red Priest too. And you had a hand of like 6 or 7 cards.
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's an ongoing debate, I think. Yeah.
maybe
Whether
Lucas
that's true or not.
maybe Lucas should check like the programming or some neutral guy who may not be biased for
But
that.
I think he had 2 Red Priests, so maybe it was the other one. We'll never know.
We'll never know. Yeah. Okay. I'll ask Lucas.
Mm.
Okay.
I
Then
think he checked it. It was just luck.
thank you for coming here. And do you want to greet somebody?
Thank your parents.
Thank your parents. your
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Without them, I wouldn't be here.
Okay.
Probably true. So now fingers
Yeah.
crossed for Kai.
Okay.
Yes.
So next game starts in 4 minutes. We'll end this game and then we are ready for the next game. Bye bye and thank you for watching. And thank you
Bye,
for
thanks.
being here with me.